Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Today I want to show you how to sell your home yourself without the need of a realtor. I'm sure as soon as you put your home on the market, you receive so many calls. And these calls were not coming from buyers, but from realtors desperate to sell your home. We're here to tell you, give you 5 tips today. But altogether 10 tips that will help you sell your home fast. But I want to give you 5 tips. And if you are serious, then you can call for the remaining 5 tips at the end of the video. Okay, what's the first tip? The first tip is basically the price. You know, price drives everything in this market, the current market. It's not like 2005, 2004, or even 2006. The market has changed. It's changed since 2007. You know what happened? Of course, the real estate market crashed, and with it crashed the economy. So this year, the market has changed a lot, and price is the #1 factor that drives everything. So if you ever sell your property, maybe it's because of the price. But how do you arrive at the exact price of your home, the exact value of your home, when most places in the Bay Area have lost more than 50% of their values? Places like Hayward, Pittsburgh, and even places like Fremont, and places like Cupertino, places like Los Altos have lost values. So, pricing is very, very critical. As you may know, the way realtors arrive at a price is basically by doing a CMA, or comparable market analysis, or what they call broker price opinion. So without you being equipped with these things, or with these professional tools, how did you arrive at your price? Did you use Zillow? Did you use Trulia? What did you use? You cannot just arrive at a price by just your emotion. Okay, my house is how much I bought it for in 2001 or whatever, and so I think it's worth this. You cannot arrive at a price because of how much you own the property. You arrive at a price because of what the buyers are willing to pay for that property today in this market. So it's very, very critical. If you have not used empirical methods of arriving at a price, which are CMA or the BPO, you must seek that advice. So the first thing is price. Pricing is very important. The second tip that I want to give you is basically preparation. You got to prepare your property for the market. In everything in life, you got to be prepared. Athletes are prepared. You know, if they're not prepared, they're going to be beaten really bad. Okay? Can you imagine that? You want to go on a trip or on a vacation and you're not prepared? Guess what's going to happen? You don't want that, right? So you want to sell your property too? You got to prepare for the market. You just can't put a sign out there and then, put it on Facebook or put it on Craigslist and just expect people to come and buy it. You got to prepare your property for the market. So you must seek the advice of a professional. Now, professional staging companies out there, guess what? Like contractors, these people are also starving. Not looking for work. So it's a good thing to contact one of them to help you to stage your property. You know, maybe you have some nice furniture. You have everything that you need great appliances in your home. Guess what? You might just pay one of these interior decorators, maybe $75 or maximum $200 to help you come to your home and arrange it in such a way that it'll be appealing to all the buyers that come to your home. Remember, first impressions count. Now, if you have a buyer come to your home, a potential buyer, and your home looks in shambles, that buyer will not come back. From my experience, buyers that come back are those who were very impressed with your property. Or there might be investors who will lowball your property. You don't want that. Okay? You want people that are very interested in your property, and then because the price is right, and because it's staged well. That's tip number 2, right? Tip number 3, of course, is marketing. So you have the best price for your property, you prepare it for the market, but guess what? You got to reach out and touch people. Nowadays, you do it online. You do it online. 80% of all buyers go online first before they go into a property. If you are not pervasively advertising online, then you're missing the mark. I would strongly advise that you have your presence on the websites. Not just a Facebook website, not just Craigslist. And you know how Craigslist works. You want to have your presence on Zillow, on Trulia. You want to have it on Backstage and all kinds of websites that propagate real estate listings. You want to have it on Realtor.com. If you don't have it on the MLS because you do not want to list it with a realtor, you are missing the mark. You're really missing the mark. You're not going to get the best price for your property. Okay, so how do you ensure that you get the best exposure? Have you heard of Trulia? Have you heard of V-Flyer? As a matter of fact, I strongly recommend that you do V-Flyer, because when you do your posting on V-Flyer, now your listing will be featured on all the websites, more than 10, 20 of them. And then you can take that code and post it on Craigslist, and your listing will stand out and will show really well and better than the competition. So marketing is extremely important, especially in this market. Gone are the days where you stick a for sale sign in your yard and you have masses of people coming to your house making multiple offers way above your list price. Those days were 2005, 2006, 2004, they're gone. I applaud you for actually putting that property in the market right now in this current market. You know, even though the interest rates are very low, guess what's happening? Buyers are sitting by the sidelines and just watching, not looking for bargains, because what we have on the market, what's been selling the last 12 months, mostly are bank-owned properties and short sales. And so I applaud you for putting your property in the market. Maybe you have a ton of equity in your property. Maybe there are other reasons why you're selling. And then you decide to sell on your own and without the use of a professional. Well, you can do that. And that's why we're helping you here by giving you all these tips. Again, the first tip is your price. The second one is your preparation. And the third tip that I gave you is marketing. You got to market. I can't overemphasize this factor. So now you have priced your property right. You have prepared it for the market. And then you're marketing it. What's the next thing that you need to do? Of course, you need to have paperwork in place. Your paperwork must be in place. Real estate, have you seen those things? Stacks of paper when you're signing. Okay, let's say you have a buyer who's interested in your property. Most likely that buyer will be coming from another company, will be coming from a real estate company and be coming with a realtor. They're a realtor. It's very unlikely you're going to sell the property yourself to another buyer who doesn't have a representation from another firm. Okay, so guess what's going to happen? That firm has a stack of paperwork that they need to fill out, and starting with a purchase agreement. So you have the purchase agreement, and then once the offer is accepted, maybe you have counter offers, you have addendum and all that kind of stuff. The lender requires a lot of information. And then you're going to have what? You're going to have inspections. They're going to have a termite inspection, a roof inspection. They're going to have a home inspection. All those things. And you have to review those things. If you've never sold a house before, I mean, this can be overwhelming. Are you ready for that? Are you really ready for that? Okay, then you have the TDS, like I said, transfer disclosure statement, and you have the natural hazard disclosure statement, and you have all the kinds of statements that the other firm might be requiring from you. Are you armed with that knowledge? Huh. Then I think you really need a professional to help you. All right, last tip that I want to give today is, of course, that you should take your emotion out of this. Because what's going to happen is that even though you have done the right pricing and you've prepared your home for the market and you've marketed very well, and now you have an offer on the property, guess what? That is just the beginning. Because you have the preparation stage, and then now you have the during stage. It's going to take another 30 days, at least, maybe 45 or maybe 60 days. First of all, the buyer will have 17 days to remove contingencies. That might be in inspection contingencies, might be removed in 17 days, but the loan and appraisal contingencies might not be removed in 17 days. What are you going to do? And you have to really make sure that your emotion doesn't get into play here, because that might derail this transaction. The last minute, maybe the buyer might back out, and what's going to happen? You've taken your property off the market, and the buyer backs out because one thing wasn't fulfilled. Okay, so we really caution that you seek the advice of a professional, or if you're a professional yourself, all good for you. Right? But if you need more tips to help you sell your property fast, and even in this market, I have seen it happen. We have put properties on the market and we have multiple offers because we follow the tips that we're teaching today. So if you need more tips how to sell your property fast in this market and for top dollar, I urge you to call 1-800-268-3659. 1-800-268-3659, extension 211. This is Paul LeJoy, your real estate consultant for life. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you